Hello, welcome. You're very much welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. I'm Dr. Olayinka Conley. I'm a sociologist. I'm a lecturer in the university. I'm a public speaker. I'm a life coach. I'm a consultant. On this channel, I do a lot of stuffs. But all the stuffs I do, you can easily cluster them into sociology, relationship, migration, research, project management, and achievement of life goals. Everything I do is just to ensure that you are your best and you have necessary information and capacity to be the best you can be. So if this is your first time of coming in contact with this channel or with my content, I'm particularly excited and I say welcome. Kindly subscribe, share this content widely, tap the notification button to be sure that you are notified every single time I drop a new content. And you are free to do your comments, to like all the time. And if you are a return viewer on this channel, I say welcome. Kindly subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment. So if you have subscribed, thank you for staying tuned. And kindly continue to stay tuned and to share content widely for the benefit of others. So today, I want to address a very important issue within the context of international migration. Migration has both positive and negative outcomes, but my interest is not to discourage you or anyone from migrating, and it's not to encourage you unnecessarily, but to give you necessary information, knowledge to fill the gaps that you may have as you try to migrate, or as you want to counsel others who might want to migrate in the future. So a lot of issues are around migration, but what people know more commonly or most commonly is that they can just migrate and get the best of migration. But it's not as simple as that. Migration is a very dark and murky process and situations. And if you are not very careful, you may be caught in the crossfire that is usually going on in the migration space. Therefore, today I will be addressing a very important topic that means how to avoid relocating or migrating into modern slavery abroad. How to avoid migrating or relocating into modern slavery abroad. Many people have migrated unknowingly into modern slavery. As much as around 50 million people across the world are into modern slavery. There are modern slaves all over the world, and this is a very unfortunate situation. Many of them did not intend to go into slavery. They migrated unknowingly to them into problems, even though they had a mind of migrating into fortune. As many as 50 million. That's a lot across the world. So even though real slavery ended many years ago, modern slavery is here with us and is hidden from common sight, but it's more prevalent than you might think, and it affects everyone, and everyone is vulnerable. Once you want to migrate, there are different ways you may fall into slavery, but you may not know. And slavery today is more systematic, more than you can ever imagine. Then what is modern slavery? Modern slavery can be regarded as a process or situation where individual is exploited by others for personal or commercial gains. When people unintentionally or sometimes intentionally are drafted, they might be coerced, they might be cajoled, they might be forced, they might be tricked into modern slavery. And whether you like it or not, modern slavery is not what we want. It's not what you want in the long run. Because once you are into modern slavery, you will lose your freedom, you lose your opportunity to be your best. So it's very important that you know this. And don't be aware that everybody is vulnerable to modern slavery. So you may think you want to migrate legitimately, but before you know it, you find yourself in it. And once you find yourself in it, you might be trapped in the long run. Then how do you then come out? So the best way is to avoid being tricked, being coerced, being cajoled, being deceived into modern slavery. Because you don't want to be a slave in your life. You don't want to be a slave. So how do you avoid falling into modern slavery? A serious way to avoid this is to never be desperate. So this video is in context of massive migration or emigration from countries to countries all over the world. So do not be desperate at all. Be sure that you are careful, you are cautious when you want to migrate. Make sure you always tell others. Sometimes when you want to go into modern slavery, even agents or people who want to recruit you may begin to tell you, they won't present it as though they are taking you to modern slavery. They present it as if it's a way of migrating, the way everybody just want to migrate. Sometimes they present the opportunity as harmless, promising you that you're going to be given a job that will turn your fortune around. Examples of modern slaves are quite many, but common one is sex trafficking, human trafficking, child sex trafficking, forced labor, debt bondage or bonded labor. That is, okay, let's take you there, then you'll be paying back when you make money. And you will make the money, certainly. That's the promise they give you. Domestic servitude is another one. You just find yourself as domestic worker in a way that you just begin to labor forever. Forced child labor is another one. Child soldiers, unlawful recruitment across the world. These are many examples. You find yourself working, but sometimes you simply working for the slave owner who have trafficked you. So how do you avoid all of this? A way to avoid all of this is to be sure you're not desperate to migrate. Take your time, carefully. Be careful. Be careful, be careful. As you are struggling to migrate, you don't like where you are, you don't like your home country, you still have to be careful. And not tell someone. Don't let anybody just tell you. Don't tell anybody. Just make sure only you and I will make sure you are fine, because people don't want you to be successful. If you tell people, they will block your opportunity. Be wary. That's an early warning sign. That's the flagship. When people are telling you, let's just do it for you, don't tell anyone. You have to be careful. It's a warning sign. Do not be desperate at all. Know fully well that you will be fine in the long run. Then be open to counsel. One thing I've found is that from my years of experience and research and interaction with migrants, many migrants are locked up. All they are interested in is just to migrate. It's just to emigrate from wherever they are and go to Europe, America, Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, European Union, all manners of places, even some precarious places. A lot of migrants make precarious journeys through unnecessary routes, exposed to unnecessary risks. So be open to counsel. Don't have the heart that is not teachable. Once you have been sensitized of the need to be careful, be open. Do not be rigid at all. Be open-minded, be flexible, and beware of bogus promises. Beware of bogus promises. All manners of promises. You will become a billionaire in less than 1 year. We have a job for you there, good accommodation. All manners of promises that may be too good to be true. So beware. Once you have some bogus promises, ask yourself, is this promise or are these promises realistic? So you have to be realistic and beware of bogus promises. Understand that you are vulnerable. Once you are desperate, you are vulnerable. And because you want to migrate, you may be taken advantage of. So understand that you might be vulnerable and be careful. Understand the risk factors. What are the risks that you face? One of the risks is that you might be trafficked by syndicates, by people who specialize in human trafficking. I understand, especially if you are from poor countries. If you are from poor countries of the South, of Africa or Asia, you are vulnerable. So be careful and trust nobody uncritically. Be careful, be sensitive, be critical. Don't be blind in how you trust people. Be sensitive to notice the early warning signs and surf the internet. Browse to get contents like this one you are viewing now that will sensitize you, especially if you are depending on the third party to facilitate your movement. If you are spending your money, maybe your vulnerability may be reduced, but if you are depending on a third party, be careful. Surf the internet for information, and you will find so much information. And pray. The God factor is very important. God will see you through, but be careful, be sensitive, and pray. God can do all things. Until I see you in the next video, kindly subscribe to this channel. Share this content widely, and try as much as possible to drop your comments and like. Your subscription is very important. Tap your notification button I've done a lot of videos on migration. Try to watch on this channel, like what you must consider before you migrate, how to win scholarship and study abroad, key factors you must consider if you are deciding to relocate or migrate abroad. Quite a number of them. How to succeed abroad if you migrate. Watch all these videos and your capacity will be built. Until I see you in the next video, subscribe and stay safe.